Bo Diddley was a very famous musician who influenced people like the Rolling Stones, the Beatles, hip-hop culture, any musician or musical style you can name. Have you ever heard this before? That's called the Bo Diddley beat. How many songs have you heard that sound like that? Is the Bo Diddley beat. In April of 1985, I was in Hawaii and I met Bo Diddley. It was at Gussie L'Amour's. They started out as a nightclub that had a lot of good bands, low-key bands that were really good, or bands that had been popular 10 years prior and weren't getting much airplay anymore. But they started to descend into oil wrestling, and it was known for fights. There were a lot of fights there, a lot of drunken brawls, and I think they had some UFC type actual fights there that they put on. It was a surly crowd that hung out there. The stage obviously was in the front, and they were all like kind of picnic tables. So big, long tables with a bench type seat next to it. And I saw Bo Diddley was playing, and it was probably like $8 or something to see him. And I thought, wow, that's something that looks interesting. Maybe I'll check that out. So I went in and I sat down, and Bo Diddley did an entire set. I was maybe 20 feet away from him. It wasn't a large club. And I got the feeling that he was looking at me. It was kind of strange. I didn't know what to do. I was looking behind me. Is there something going on? And boy, was I surprised when he ended his set, he got off the stage and walked directly toward me. And when he got within about 5 feet, he put his hand out, his big, strong hand, shook my hand firmly, and big old smile. And I had no idea what was going on. I thought maybe he thought I was somebody else. I didn't understand. And he says, "Is she with you?" I said, "What do you mean? Who?" He says, "That girl sitting next to you." I had no idea who she was. I just came up and sat down. It's what we used to call festival seating. Just sit wherever. You don't have numbers on the chairs. You don't buy a ticket with a number on it. You just go in and sit down and watch. I hadn't even really noticed it. It was actually a pretty girl sitting next to me. And I said, "Excuse me?" He goes, is that your sister or your wife or girlfriend?" I said, "I have no idea. I don't know who she is." And you would think I put a hot coal in his hand. The way he dropped my hand, dropped the smile, dropped me, and, "Hey girl, how are you doing this evening?" He just started talking to her, and I did not exist. I always remember that night because I kept wondering, you ever get that feeling like someone's looking at you? You're seeing a very famous person who figures highly, strongly, very much influential in American music. He's the guy, a lot of people would say, made the transition or drove the transition from blues into rock and roll. A lot of people would credit him. Bill Haley, obviously. Bill Haley in the Comets, Rock Around the Clock. There were other people. I dropped my water. Of course, there were a lot of people around at that time, but who can deny the Bo Diddley beat? It's called the Bo Diddley beat. I want candy. Who hasn't heard that? So many songs have the Bo Diddley beat. It's named after him. So I just had that strange feeling that the guy playing that, you're thinking, oh, everybody thinks that, oh, he's looking at me. He actually was. He kept looking at me. I'm sure he was looking at her. Maybe his gaze was actually at her, and I thought it was me, but she wasn't in line with me. She was right next to me. He was feeling me out to see if this girl was available and single or with me. And that's my Bo Diddley story.